Hello, my name is CJ Galata, Memory Support Director here at Shell Point, and I have with me today Dr. Vodolato, Director of Behavioral Health. So what does someone do if they find themselves wondering about their memory, have some concerns? Where do they begin here at Shell Point?
The first stop in that concern, whether it's for yourself or for a loved one, is to talk to your primary care doctor. That will initiate a evaluation to look at things, physically speaking, that can interfere with memory or cognition. So we're going to look at things like B12 and thyroid functioning and a number of other physical components that can impact the brain's function. From there, what typically happens is there's a referral made to behavioral health and a formal cognitive evaluation is performed. All in told, it's a 4 to 6 hour process, and we evaluate different domains of cognition, memory, and language, and other things, and it gives us a picture of how the brain is doing as a whole. So after a primary care visit and after the behavioral health evaluation, there are other things that may happen. People have heard a lot about a fluorpedipere PET scan, which is a kind of a state-of-the-art. It's more in research now than clinical practice, and other physical tests, but that's on a kind of a clinically indicated basis. If there are difficulties, there's a conversation obviously about diagnosis or what might be causing that, and at least presently the state-of-the-art diagnosis includes the primary care workup and the evaluation, but monitoring it on a yearly basis. So we'll look for changes if there's anything that impacts it during that year. Of course, we're always available and invite people, keep in close contact with us. The more we know, the better we can address any potential problem. But there's other things. So there has been a diagnosis, and there is life after diagnosis. We want to pay a little bit more attention and optimize all health functionings. Sleep is very important. We need to review, possibly add, possibly subtract medications, all done by primary care to improve and optimize every aspect of healthcare that we can.
Your team can collaborate very closely with the medical team here on creating any individualized plans recommended for someone. That's very fortunate for us here at Shell Point.
Yeah, thank you. And in addition to behavioral health and primary care, we're very fortunate to have the integration of home health care and case management and direct workings with assisted living and skilled nursing staffing. And actually part of the recently added services, now our clinical team meets weekly to go over and to review and to optimize anything we can for those who are suffering from a cognitive disorder and their families. Actually a good time for a question in terms of the upcoming assisted living. How is that, or where are we in that process?
Well, I am glad that you asked that question. We certainly have been very busy beginning to build the team that will be at Connected Living at the Springs. This team will be undergoing very specific training to become memory support specialists. This is the same kind of process that we saw and have implemented in the pavilion for Connected Living at the pavilion. So this entails Alzheimer's Association pairings for training. We have incorporated David Troxell's Best Friends approach. We have included behavioral health modules as part of building a tool that team members have when working with residents so that they feel more empowered to think through some challenging things that can happen with residents, challenging communication, challenging behaviors that we can maybe address in ways that are not about medications all the time. We certainly have made great efforts to work with residents to optimize their skills and providing behavioral health modules monthly in order to increase the care team's toolbox, if you will. We also include Life Quest training, which really focuses on actual activities and programs, the 6 dimensions of wellness that we have here at Shell Point, and for everybody on the team to be involved in programming throughout the day. Sometimes the programming can be as simple as 30-second interactions, many impromptu, unplanned moments, as well as supporting programming with our activities leaders and Memory Life Quest coordinator as well. So we are very excited, making some momentum towards that, and anticipate the building being able to open late summer, early fall time. You know, with construction, there's and regulating bodies, there's always a little bit of a timeline that is unknown, but that's what we're looking at so far. One other thing that we're adding is the Carefree Group. Mm-hmm. As a major part of the Carefree Group, we focus on socialization. Would you please talk a little bit about the importance of socialization when it comes to someone who's a care partner, as well as someone who may have some memory loss?
The social aspect of a person's life obviously is a big part of why a lot of people come to Shell Point. A lot of people flourish under these circumstances, to the extent that it's appropriate for those. We all have our individual differences in how much socialization we can or do want. But long ago, actually, for a little bit of history on the Carefree Group, or at least its template, back in 2002, Dr. Beckwith, who was the first director of behavioral health, and his wife Pamela started a social group that was expressly not clinical. It was to enjoy one another's company, to help support one another, to give some component of day-to-day experience in a more of a social colloquial setting. It was reinvigorated, or that group was then started in a more formal way in 2010, and went for many years. And we see, again, a need for the getting away from clinical and to just enjoy the social component of it. And it is immensely important. When we go back to the old standbys, as many, even though this is Awareness Month, we do realize that we have very few tools from a medical standpoint to battle dementia or cognitive disorders at this time. And we fall back to the basics time and time again, which is stay cognitively healthy, stay physically and socially involved. Again, to the extent that that is possible across the continuum of memory and cognitive disorders, it is important.
Well, I know that we have both talked at great lengths about working with a group of residents and being able to help facilitate social opportunities across campus and maybe beyond, but certainly excited to help foster these authentic friendships and breaking down any barriers that there could be to being involved on campus in a social way and really making those friendships. We really are very excited to see people not feel isolated in any way and really being able to connect and have some great times. Thank you very much for joining me. We would like to invite you to attend the Carefree Group on Friday, July 13th at 2:30 in the Grand Cypress Room. We hope to see you there.